Here we go. Hey, what's up, everyone? And welcome to another edition of Feature Friday. Wow. I don't know about y'all, but I am so happy that the weekend is here. So, what I need you all to do right now is grab your other device. Y'all know you got another tablet. We all got two and three cell phones, right? Go over to K Ward Radio on YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the little bell. No, that way. It's a little bell so you can get all the notifications about the shows. Don't forget to also log on to kwardradio.com and make sure you subscribe the email address. So, again, thank you so much for inviting me into your homes, wherever you are across the world. We're streaming everywhere on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Twitch, and all that jazz, K Ward Radio, all that. So make sure you go and like all of those pages. I thank you all so much for your support of the shows, these conversations. I don't like to call them interviews because they're clearly conversations for you to get more up close and personal with, these artists and their crafts and their gifts. Now, this next guest is a very special one because again, he's right here in Alabama. His name is Vi Moon. We're former co-workers, but we're still part of a musical family at WVAS. Now, his music, it inspires, it empowers, and it encourages. He's a musician, he's a rapper, but this brother clearly has that it factor, and he's featured right here tonight with Jazzy K. Ward on Feature Friday. So let's give him a lot of love. Let's share those videos, and let's welcome Vi Moon to Feature Friday.
K Ward, what's happening, brother? What's happening with you, man?
What's up, my brother Vi? It's been like a long time since I've seen you, my brother.
I know it, man. I know it, but you know what? We both grinding, and that's why.
Both grinding. And, you've been grinding a long time. And I just, want to share with people tonight, we're former colleagues, but we're still part of a family. You know,
Yeah.
you work with WVAS for quite some time as production assistant, and you were what assistant program director.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I
So
was I was production technician, assistant male with program director, and also assistant with the student station. I was program director of that too. So it was a journey, man. It took me to school, a lot of training.
the training. So just to go back a little bit, but by I think last year when all this happened with the pandemic, since last year, I mean, just so how have you been doing in your family? How have you all been navigating through all of it?
That's an interesting question, man. Last year's been difficult for a lot of people, and me personally, I took a couple of losses of those close to me. Me and you shared one of those losses with our former colleague and friend Jay Holsey, which
Yeah,
is it wasn't even related to my knowledge to the COVID pandemic, but just the fact of it happening in that realm, and it was just so surreal, man. And I lost, I know, a cousin and an aunt and my grandfather just previously. It was just a lot of loss, man. And I know I'm not the only one. On the flip side of that, man, I got to be honest with you, bro. The Lord has been faithful, man. My family has been able to actually build a house in the midst of the pandemic. We just moved in now, and this is a brand new room. This is my studio. I'm still building it up, but we just moved in. We're able to sell the other house, and just we were able to get a new vehicle, which we strongly needed because it's six of us, and we riding around in the Grand Marquis. You know what I mean? So I mean, my point is, in the midst of all of the crazy, God was still faithful, and I'm appreciative of that. And also, just business wise, my label, I inked a distribution deal with a company out of New Jersey, and I was awarded an opportunity to have a publicist from a company up in New York, Double Exposure and Humag Distribution. So it's crazy how on the surface there's such a dark undertone, but underneath the surface, God's hand is still weaving through, and he's faithful, man. So all glory to him, man.
Yeah. And I'm not a big, religious person, but
Mhm.
I believe in a higher power, and I think no matter what we do in life, you have to place God in pretty much in everything that we do. And I
Yeah.
like what you mentioned when you said he's been faithful, and I even watched you, at the radio station, your grind, you've always been professional, and I mean you can clearly hear that even in your music. And I'm sure he has been the forefront of your life from the beginning, right?
Yeah, man. My faith is a part of who I am. For a time, I'm not gonna say I intentionally hid it, but you go along with the culture, right? You go along with what's happening in your hood, what's happening outside of your house. And so, going around saying, God is good and all that, that was cool and all, but can you kick it? You know what I'm saying? Like when it's time to get down, can you get down? So
Right.
growing up, I felt like I always had to prove myself in a sense. But once I began to just say, there's nothing left for me to prove if my creator is already proud of me in a sense, right? Let
Right.
me just be who I am and show my heart. And I think there's more strength in us being who we are, faults and all, by I think there's more humility in that than trying to puff it up and cover it up with something that's not real and has no real grit. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's my faith is definitely a strong focal point in my life, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's very important. And just switching gears a little bit back, what first got you into music? Did you come from a musical family or just something you just enjoy?
Yeah, so from what I hear, I have come from a musical family, but the catch is I was raised primarily by my mother, single parent household, and I'm my mom's only child, on her side. So, my mom didn't really catch the musical bug, but from stories I hear, my dad, it's a lot of music over there. My grandfather's music over there, but there's also this spiritual aspect. On my dad's side, there's pastors and things of that nature. On my grandfather's side is things of that nature. So it's that, but also in that is a business aspect. On my grandmother's side, a lot of my uncles, they're businessmen, they're very successful. So I'm getting all of this when I go around these different rounds of my family. And it just began to intertwine in me. So the first bug that hit me really was producing. A lot of people don't know, but a lot of the music I make, about 90% of it, I produced it myself. And so
Right.
starting out as like 7 or 8 years old, I would play what I would hear in movies or in radio. I would just play that back on the keyboard. And my mom was astonished. She's like, this boy hasn't gone to school for this. He's just playing the Home Alone theme, in the keyboard. I could play by ear. And then fast forwarded, I'm a part of this organization at like 10 years old. We do step routines, but we also rap about like Black history figures and things of that nature. I remember I did this rap about Malcolm X. That was my figure, right? So that introduced me to rhyming, and our instructor taught us how to form rhymes and make them make sense. So as years passed, man, I just kind of intertwined all that. And then on the faith side, I always been interested in spiritual things, but I just would keep that kind of to myself. So over time, you got all this stuff in the pot. And like I said, looking up to my uncles who's in business, I was always attuned to that. And now you have me kind of combining them all, the music, producing, rapping, my own company, my own label, and it's a spiritual, faithful foundation. So it's been intertwined with me from the beginning. That's what I'm trying to say.
I clearly understand what you're trying to say, my brother. And, and I'm glad when you were talking about business, and I'm going to ask you a question about that later. With February being Black History Month, which to me, I tell people, being a former educator in civil rights and Black history, it shouldn't be designated, of course, as a month of February because it's every day. I tell people, read a book, go to a museum. I know we're in a pandemic, but you can virtually go in a museum. But just thinking about Black History Month, is there anyone that that's that you looked up to, during that civil rights era, or it could be someone in your family that you see as an icon that you looked up to?
Yeah, man. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, I was raised primarily by my mom.
Yeah.
She eventually got married when I was 15, and her husband, who I affectionately call Pops, he's a phenomenal guy. He has no physical children of his own other than me and then my kids, who are his grandkids. But he's just been such a phenomenal figure in my life, and just watching him be himself. Cause my family, like we get down, you know what I'm saying? Like we like to drink, we like to kick it. And my pops, he don't drink, but he would be around my family, and it's like it wouldn't be weird though. He would just still be himself, but could still connect with people. And I think that was important for me because it showed me the importance and the respect you get from just being who you are. You know what I
Right.
mean? And whether you do that or not, the fact of just how it applies to you. People respect you more when you take a stand for something than when it's just, well, they doing it, I might as well do it too. But no, he really believed in that. And so, seeing him and my uncles, oh my goodness, man.
Right.
I got uncles from New York, Texas, and up north. And these guys, like I said, these some ballers, man. They work hard, but they play hard. I tell you like this: my mom and my grandmother and my aunt, they showed me what it means to have true work ethic, right?
That's right.
My uncles, they showed me how to enjoy the fruits of your labor. I mean, these guys, they would come down here and they worked hard, but man, they would enjoy themselves. And as single moms, it's hard to enjoy yourself, right? You got to grind, grind, grind. So I'm not faulting my mom for not doing that, but it took, I think, for a young boy, it took him seeing young men, young black men being able to be husbands to their wives, fathers to their kids, but still enjoy themselves. And so, they were prominent figures. And just to wrap this answer up, I truly believe, and I tell my kids this, bro. We live in the greatest city in the world, and I know that's crazy, right? Because people talk about Montgomery, they tend to, it has a negative undertone. But I tell my kids that, I said, no, all my kids were born in Montgomery. I said, you are from the greatest city in the world, and they're like, why, Dad? I said, but what happened in this city is the reason why we're
Right.
able to enjoy many of the benefits that we're able to enjoy today. And over the years, I would expound on that. I just showed my kids just this past Tuesday where Dr. Martin Luther King used to get his haircut at, and
Right.
it's a shop down the street from Alabama State University. I can't recall the name of it right now, but
Right.
I'm just constantly telling them the importance of where you live and what happened in this city. I'm about to do a performance at Mount Zion Church, and that's significant to me because I did a play years ago. It was called The Meeting, and it was talking about the meeting that Dr. King, Ralph Abernathy, Fred Gray, all these guys had when they were deciding on whether to do the bus boycott, and they met at Mount Zion Church. And
Yeah.
this city has so much rich history, but it
Yeah.
has such a bright future if we're able to grab that history and take a little pride in it and move forward with what we're doing. So, yeah, man, it's a lot of influences.
And I tell people, and I don't want to get too far off of that, but people don't, the older I've gotten, and my grandmother and grandfather are both members of Mount Zion. So I remember as a little boy
Wow.
always going to that church as,
Yeah.
as a little boy. And I tell people the rich history in this city. And I tell a lot of my friends when we walk downtown Montgomery, Dexter Avenue is probably one of the most known streets, or one of the most famous streets, I think, in this country. I say, I don't think you realize what took place on this street, over 50 years ago, which is not that long ago. And then when you
Right.
explain to them the history of this city, people realize, like, some people, like, I didn't realize what took place here. But
Yeah.
everyone, I'm Jazzy K. Ward. My special guest tonight is musician and rapper Vi Moon. We're gonna have a little bit more conversation with him. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In the twilight, living life in salty lights, smooth and mellow, feeling how we move so right.
Hey, so welcome back, everyone. I'm Jazzy K. Ward. We are having it up close and personal with musician and rapper Vi Moon. So welcome back to the show. So, Vi, I just want to get into it. This new single that you have out called Get It Together featuring Young Dow. I mean, the song, the track, it is slamming, my brother. I mean, the beat, the vibe, the groove. It's one of them songs, makes you, you turn up, you ride in the car. See, people think, the funny thing about it, people think I'm just all about jazz. They're like, "Oh, man, you listen to jazz." I'm like, man, I listen to all of it. I know I'm mellow, I'm laid back, but you need to go out right now and purchase this track. But just to talk about it, did you write this song?
Yeah, absolutely. And on a side note, I love jazz. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people may think I listen to a lot of rap. I got John Coltrane, I got Miles Davis on LP right over here. So that actually helps me to rap. So yeah, so jazz is where it's at. But yeah, I definitely penned the lyrics. SM Tracks, he's a producer out of Atlanta, the Atlanta area. He's produced for T.I., he's produced for Kodak Black, a couple of prominent placements in the industry. So I was awarded to get some tracks from him. And I immediately knew that I was going to use the beat, didn't know when. I purchased it maybe back in 2019. And so, I went through a few other tracks, and I'm actually working on a body of work. I'm working on an album right now. So you're releasing singles or what have you. And this track almost didn't make the album. It just, when you're working on projects, that's just how it goes. I hear artists talk about how some of the biggest hits almost didn't make the album. It happens all the time. And this was one of those cases, man. It almost didn't make it. But long story short, I heard it with fresh ears, working on the album. I said, yeah, let's use it. So he titled the beat, Get It Together. And it's just slamming drums, just real simple. I knew immediately it was gonna take me to places in my career and ministry that I haven't been yet. So my thing is this: I never want to be gimmicky. Even if it's slamming and all that, there has to be something real about it, and that's where I feel like I come in. And so the lyrics, the words had to come from a pure place. And if you listen to those lyrics, if you really listen to it, it's really a prayer. And it's a prayer, and it's me talking to myself. And basically I'm saying, dude, you're in a bad season right now, right? Things don't feel good right now. Things seem crazy right now, right? You even losing your faith right now, right? Okay, right. That's cool. But your faith says God is still on the throne. Don't matter how you feel, right? Don't matter what you think. That's cool that you feel that way. That's fine. But your faith, the faith that you subscribe to, says he's still there. In other words, this will pass. So get it together, right, man.
Get it together.
That was it. And so that was the premise of those words. And it just happened to be on a slamming beat. Now, Young Dow, and for those who don't know, Young Dow is actually my 7-year-old son, my oldest son. His name is Dallas. He accidentally ended up on the song. It wasn't planned. It wasn't structured. I was at the dinner table. I'm sorry, my Siri is going off over here. I'm at the dinner table, and I had just penned the lyrics, and I thought to myself, I said, man, I need to record this on my phone just so I can feel the vibe, ride to it, listen to it. So I abruptly leave the dinner table. Like, it hit me so strong because I had the lyrics written on the paper. I got 4 kids, man. That paper can get torn to shreds in less than 30 seconds. So I'm like, I got to lay this at least on the phone before I put it in the studio. I go to my little studio, I pull up the beat, I'm on my phone, right? I'm rapping it. My sons, Dallas and my youngest son, Vincent, my youngest daughter, Violet, they're in the background just playing, you know. I get to the part where he comes in. I had nothing for that part. Now in my mind, I'm thinking eventually I'll fill it in with something or whatever, right? When that part comes on, Dallas starts freestyling. He just starts saying this thing. I mean, I didn't tell him to say it, nothing. The beat comes on. He's like, thank you, Jesus, for giving me this day and this world. He just starts saying it. Now, mind you, K-Ward, at the time, bro, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just focused on my part, right? So we do that, and that's it. About a week later, because I like to put it down and move back to it later. About a week later, I hear it with fresh ears. And I'm like, I still got to figure out what I'm going to put in that empty spot. And I hear Dallas's part. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me this day and this world. I'm like, he just did it. That's it. That's what I'm missing right there. And bro, when I tell you, it went just like that. And as far as his name, a lot of people don't know this. I've been calling him Young Dow since he was a baby. When I would give him baths in the tub, I would sing to him like, Young Dow, he gonna tear that thing down. Like so we always knew if that time came, he had a name reserved, right? And he's been on a few songs before, but he would just do little background vocals. But this time I thought it would be cool for him to actually be credited for his verse, because he literally freestyled that. Nobody told him to do it. It came from his spirit, came from his heart. So it was just phenomenal. We went to the studio. He did a great job. We laid it down. We just shot the video for it. We have dancers, street dancers, DFOD, different flavors of dance. They did a remarkable job. I just saw the rough cut of the video. It's going to be outstanding. And man, it's great, man. It's great.
Well, I mean, yeah, the song, and make sure you take care of Young Dow, because he's going to look at this, you know, on down the line like, Dad, you didn't credit, Dad, okay, I need my money. So yeah, when this goes platinum, okay, Dad, make you know, you got me. And, you know, I want to say hello to everybody. Hey, Nicole, Gerald, and producer extraordinaire JD. He said, you know, I'm not familiar with Vi-Moon, but listening to him just speak, it makes me immediately want to check out his work. I mean, Vi, you need to probably, my friend JD, I mean, he's major. He writes for some major artists. And maybe y'all could possibly work together on some of his projects, because he can write a song and maybe you can spin on it, rhyme on it. But I'll connect y'all in some kind of way.
No doubt, no doubt. And thank you, JD. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that.
He's amazing. I mean, we got Miss Tootie Malone. She's another extraordinary singer. Penelope, and also The Owner B. She's an international recording artist and poet and lyricist. She's on the line. You need to check out The Owner B at theownerb.com. I could see you and The Owner B and Vi-Moon doing a track together. We're going to make that happen too. I promise.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
But, you know, I want to kind of, you know, I don't really mean to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot to actually, you know, could you kind of like spit out something you're working on, or even get it together, you know, kind of do a verse or something.
Yeah, man. Oh man. So he gonna test my skills as an MC. It's a fortunate thing that I'm actually working on the album right now, so I'm ready. I'm not too rusty, right? I don't want to talk too much, but I will say this, you know, this next body of work that I'm working on, it's called Don't Worry. And I think it's fitting because there's a lot to worry about right now, right? And I think it's just a reminder of where our real help comes from. And, you know, and I know people prescribe to different faiths, and I respect that. But at the end of the day, I have to be myself and hopefully just shed some sort of light of positivity. And for me, that faith is in Jesus Christ. And even if people don't believe or whatnot, my hope is that at the end of the day, we look within for our answers. You know, a lot of times we're looking at what's outside, and outside changes. But when we can tap into what we've been given, the equipment that we've been given, right, and really start working on that and finding our gifts and finding how to serve people with it and how to monetize that as well, then we can be creative in the midst of chaos. And so this song, I'm gonna rap lyrics from this song. It's called True Love, and it's really a place, me in a vulnerable place of pain, and just hearing from God say, look, I've given you everything you need. Trust in it. I got you. So I'm gonna see if I can do this, bro.
All right.
Teardrops on the pad as I write these words. He rose from the dead, but the pain still hurts. Maybe because my faith ain't like it was. Either way, I gotta turn these curves, but my vision is blurred. Break the chains just a little. A rock in a hard place. Guess who's in the middle? Frustrated because my past mistakes got me crippled. Tangled in the web that I can't escape. It's a killer, feeling guilty when I miss that mark. Putting pressure on myself. Can you help me, Lord? Because it ain't the way to live. It's hard for me to give. Constantly thinking about me, selfish like a spoiled kid. Lord, help me trust what you did. The King of all kings paid the cost. Tell me why I'm feeling lost. I'm so confused. I'm looking at the news. It's all trouble. So I turned it off, look to you, and you utter to my heart that all the pain I feel don't compare to the start of your love. So take heart, because all the pain that spilled from your body tore apart these chains. Your scars is the reason that I can say today that despite my pain, I'm not lost. Because your love came and found me. And that's what true love is. My mind is racing, trying to balance everything, but it's hard to take it. Had a handle on these things, but the world is changing. The changes will either make or break you, but I need a savior. I'm trying to savor every moment that I have, but I need favor because my best comes in last. Every dime I'm saving just to fill my car with gas. Grind to make it. How long would I last? Lord, I know you're able. Help me trust in your path. No time for fables. I need truth, need it fast. I'm speaking for every single mom, single dad putting food on tables. Jesus Christ, heal our land. It's hard to see when the dark is out of hand, but I know that you have a bigger plan. If I could tap into the mindset that you had when you were here, not worry about the lack or the vast injustice, you brought healing despite all the bad that surrounded you. Now, I'm not perfect, but I ask you to work through me. Look, and maybe then we'll see the definition of what true love is. Yeah.
There you have it. Freestyle. See, that's what you call a talent. That's why Vimoon has that it factor. I'm telling you, if you don't know Vimoon, ladies and gentlemen, anybody watching this video, shame on you. Shame on you. So when is the album gonna come out, bro?
Man, the album is set to release in the fall, but I have more singles coming out between now and then. Okay. Right now, the focus is get it together. And I also have 4 bodies of work out already, 4 projects, albums. So, if people want to hear more from me, there's plenty of content out there. It's timeless music, I believe, because I do my best to make music from a pure place. So when you're making timeless music, it's hard for it to get old or aged. And so I would invite people to check out my website, vimoon.com. All the music is housed there, and subscribe to my YouTube. Just look up Vimoon Music. And you'll see my videos, and you can follow me and check out what we're doing, man. It's a lot more to come, Right.
So everyone that's watching this video, I need you all to go right now and get his new single, Get It Together, featuring his son, Young Dow. The song is slamming. It's on where you can get all music found, right? Spotify.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's everywhere. It's out there, man. Everywhere you stream or purchase music, you can definitely check it out. And it's featuring my son, Young Dow, and I think it's a nice fire track. I think it's dope.
Right. And real quick before I go, tell me about your company that I think is He Did It that you and your wife had. Can you tell us real quick about that? Yeah.
You can actually kind of flip, but you can see the logo in the back here. He Did It LLC. The name came from a very successful single that I released 5 or 6 years ago, man. And it was a really simple, basic song, but I was just giving testimonies of times where me and my wife and my family were going through a hard time, and God came through and did a miracle when we were faithful with the little bit that we had. And we couldn't take credit for it. So the hook of it was just He did it. And that song opened up so many doors for me, man. Locally speaking, at the time, that was only like my 4th single as a Christian artist, if you will. But man, I I would be in the same arenas of artists who had bodies of work and artists who had longevity, and I'm here off the strength of one record. That's how powerful that record was for me. It opened up a lot of doors. So I always felt in my heart that I was going to start my own label and give artists creative space to express themselves, and I wanted to do it here in Montgomery. I just didn't have a name. And as we're developing this thing, one day it just kind of made sense. Like, duh, he did it. I'm doing it all by the grace of God anyway. That was my most successful record thus far up until now, because Get It Together is doing some good things. Let's do it, man. So, and then my family, my wife is my partner in it. Our kids, they have some shares in it. So Young Dad will be properly compensated when it's the right time. And our goal, man, is to inspire, empower, and encourage, man, people to be all they were created to be in order to do what they were created to do with no fear. And so, and give other artists a shot who may not know how to navigate and may not know how to get their thing off the ground or even know how to articulate their vision. We want to help artists do that. But I understand in order to do that, you first have to lay out a pathway. And that's what I'm doing now as a flagship artist.
That's right. And you know what, Vi, this has been such a positive, uplifting, conversation. And, I got one question before I let you go. Someone watching this video, young man, young lady, in this industry, this is a tough industry. It's not always lights, camera, action. And sometimes our faith does get a little weary. We want to give up. But is there something you can share or give, or what's the best advice that you can give to someone, whether in life or in this industry, if they're leaning a little different about their struggle, maybe giving up? Anything you can share that maybe that you've been given or told as a young man growing up?
Yeah. Excuse the noise in the background, my kids. Yeah, it's funny you asked me that, K Ward, man. Just a year ago, and I shared this testimony on my social medias. Just a year ago, bro, I had actually gave up. And it's crazy because I had started the company. I had a very good thing going, but I was going through personal doubts. And a lot of times, man, when you're your own worst enemy, it don't matter how much good you have going. When you can't see it or it's not the way you think it should be, you might as well have nothing. And so I just really gave up. But here's the key. I gave up on my dreams. I gave up kind of on myself in a sense. But one thing that I didn't do, K Ward, and I just got to be honest about this, I didn't give up on God. And the reason why I can say that is because this is what I told him. I said, God, if you really want me to do this, you bring me back. I got a family. I got 4 kids. I'm not believing in it right now. I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to go out here, find some work, because I invested in this full time. So I said, I'm going to go out here, find some work. God, if you want me to do this, you bring me back, right? This was exactly a year ago. Well, okay, well, I started looking for jobs and, I got some connects in the industry, so it was looking pretty good. I kid you not. As soon as I'm looking for jobs, the pandemic breaks out and everything shuts down. Wow. That's alarm number 1, right? I'm like, okay. So my wife is a realtor. So since we're at home, she's like, hey, you can get your real estate license. I'm like, cool. Sounds like a good idea. Let me do that. I started taking the classes. Mm-hmm. I kid you not, bro. Shortly after that, I was presented a distribution deal because I already had music out there. I had like 3 albums out. I did a lot of work prior to me just saying, you know what, I'm done, right? And based on the work that I had already did, I landed this distribution deal with Humag Distribution up in New Jersey, which partnered me with a publicist, Double Exposure Media in New York City. And it just really forced me to take the music seriously. And not only that, but I think it showed even my team and my family that, yo, this thing is, you better pay attention to this. It's one thing for me to say it, but it's another thing for somebody to say, no, we think you got what it takes. You better pay attention to this, right? So that forced me back to the music. And if that wasn't enough, me and you were part of WVAS, right? I actually went back to the station begging for my job back. I'm like, yo, y'all got to hire me back. They were on the cusp of hiring me back until the pandemic broke out. But when the pandemic broke out, instead of hiring me as an employee, they ended up hiring my company. He did an LLC as a consultant on the project discussing the pandemic's effects on small businesses of color and public schools.
Awesome.
So if that, it's almost as if God was like, okay, if you want me to bring you back, first off, I'm going to shut all the doors. You ain't going to be able to get a job. Pandemic. Second off, okay, you want to take a real estate class? Well, guess what? You're not going to be able to focus on this because now you're getting a distribution deal and the publicist, and they're going to demand for you to take this seriously. And if that ain't enough, the company that I told you to start, the first lump sum of money that you get, the first big check that you get is going to be from the station that you thought was going to hire you as an employee. If that don't show you I want you to do this, then I don't know what will. And so my point in that is you may give up on yourself. You may even give up on your dreams. You may give it up, but don't give up on God, because guess what? He hasn't given up on us. And I'm a prime example. He will bring you back to whatever dream that he's put in your heart.
Yes, he will, my brother. I mean, if that's not a testimony, people, did you just hear this man's story? Again, for more information on Vi Moon and support his music, please go to ViMoon.com. My brother, thank you so much for coming on the show. Please come back when you drop the next single. Hey, come and premiere it on the show. We'll have a little bit more conversation, my brother, okay?
Let's do it, man. Thank you for having me, bro. And much love to you. I'm really proud of you, man. You're doing big things, man.
I appreciate it, Vi. And don't forget, the new single, Get It Together, featuring Young Dow is slamming. Wherever music is sold, go get it. Go to ViMoon.com. Download the stream. It's all about support. Just buy it. Just buy it, y'all. Well, my brother, take
yes,
care. Sir. And we're going to catch you next time, okay?
No doubt, bro. Thank you, man.
You're welcome, my brother. Wow. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Vi Moon. I always tell people, favor ain't fair, but it sure feels good. Music that inspires, empowers, and encourages. That's our special guest musician and rapper, Vi Moon, his latest single, Get It Together. That's right, y'all. Get it together. And that's right. Get it together and go over to, K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Also, kwardradio.com. Any artists that would like to be featured on the show, all my information is listed here. Email me your music. I'll be glad to take a listen to it as well. Any donations that you would like to give to the show, all of my PayPal, Cash App information is listed there. Well, this is Jazzy K Ward saying again, thank you so much for all of your support. I have to give a shout out to The Owner B, Mike Murray, Chef D, everyone that supported and bought a KWARD radio mask. We're still in a pandemic, so still wear your mask. Be safe out there. So don't forget to join me on Monday for Artist Talk. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Remember, take care of yourselves and be kind to others. Good night.
Y'all ready? I count to three. One, two, 1, 2, 3.
I know you're tired. Love has got you down. I know you tried to keep love around. I know you're scared to open up your heart, but I'm prepared. You can let down your guard. I know you see your future in my eyes. I know you feel this fire deep inside. I know you wanna take the chance.
Shout out SM. He did it. Yonder. Y'all ready? Let's go.
Last time I tried to get by on my own led to frustration. Jesus said I don't wanna live life all alone. I trust your graces. Marathons, Lord, help me pace it. Upgrade me, I don't want basic. Help me to be a better man. I'll take your hand and go to places I never been. It's heaven sent. All the good you giving me don't make sense.